Hello and welcome to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. This is episode number 67. My name's Ismael and Juan. Thank you so much for being here. On this episode, I actually welcome back my good friend Arturo. This is third time on the podcast. We talked about a great slate of NFL football from the Packers versus 49ers to the Bucs versus Rams, and who we think is a pretender as a 3-0 team. And in the Premier League, we talked about the North London Derby, who we think is going to win the Premier League, and Raul Jimenez scoring his first goal in almost a year. All of that on this episode, so stay tuned. I'm going to transition to that now. All right, Arturo, thank you for coming on to the show one more time. It's always a pleasure to have you. How have you been?
Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure being here. Like I've always said, I'm always down to talk sports. I've been good, man.
That's great. That's great. Healthy?
Healthy, vaccinated.
There you go. Hey, so as a Packer fan, as a Arsenal fan, I know you had a very important weekend this time around. So how did it go? How'd it go? Let's start with the Packers. They beat the Niners. Very exciting game. Kind of wrapped up the weekend for a great weekend of football. What was your impressions of that game? They left too much time for Aaron Rodgers, or what happened with that game?
A lot, man. A lot of it was a roller coaster of emotions. Obviously, it's always nerve-wracking coming out west for Green Bay. The record out west isn't good. Seattle, right. whether it's Seattle, whether it's San Francisco. I mean, even 2 seasons ago, the Chargers.
Yeah.
They smacked us.
Yeah, I remember that game.
And then the past 2 games versus the Niners haven't been so good offensively for us. But I think we set the tone early.
Yeah.
We played a solid 29 minutes of football of the first half. Everything up until that kick return messed us up.
Up until that,
gave them the momentum. That kick return to end the half, kind of that set up the touchdown for Trey Lance. That was unfortunate. I mean, and it always has been a special teams. Last year we were like dead last in special teams. Yeah. So I mean, in football you got to play all 3 aspects: offense, defense, and special teams. Like you have to play it good in order to win the game. We took care of the ball against a solid defense, the solid front 7. We only allowed 1 sack. So our O-line being banged up, whatever it is.
Makeshift line, yep.
I'm telling you, man, that our O-line coach needs to be in Hall of Fame, man. I don't know where he finds these guys. Guys just step up, man. It's ridiculous.
That scheme is good. And Aaron Rodgers is good at, getting rid of the ball quick. I know he likes to improvise, but he's also like really good at just getting out of there. But I was actually surprised that the game ended so close, because I think the game was 10-7 and you guys were already in the red zone and you guys had a chance to go up 17-0, I believe. They went for it on 4th down and the Niners got a crucial stop. I think if you guys go up 17-0, it could have gotten ugly. I was already thinking like, all right, the Packers they're looking to get revenge on like the past blowouts that have happened because when they play the Niners. I was like, oh, they're gonna run up the score. I was thinking like, oh man, I wanted to see a good game on Sunday Night Football. This is gonna be done. They're gonna send me to sleep,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like you said, I would have hoped they would have like just kicked the field goal and taken the points. Like regardless, although the defense was playing really good and Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't really showing any like signs of making a comeback or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I like the aggressive call. The only thing I didn't like was the forcing. I feel like Rodgers forced it to Adams a lot.
Yeah.
Which I mean, at the end of the day, it works. But he has other guys,
Yeah.
And it becomes predictable. So like, if he's going for him on a 4th and short, like, we needed some creativity there, especially in the red zone, especially like momentum shifting wise. Something, some movement behind the line of scrimmage, some screens,
something,
some jet sweeps, something.
But
it went basic, back shoulder to Adams, and it wasn't there.
And those are tough. I mean, Rodgers and Adams are one of the best to do it, but it doesn't change that it's a hard pass to.
Yep.
Were you surprised at how the Niners didn't really like try to run the ball as much? I thought they were gonna. I picked up Sermon in one of my fantasy football leagues, and I started him. He got decent points, 10 plus points, but I was expecting them to just give him like 25 touches or something.
I was definitely surprised. Yeah, because I mean, look at the past two games. I think it was like over 200 rushing yards they had on us. So
Yeah,
on each
exactly.
game, not even like both games combined, like each game, like they ran through us like nothing. But I guess the scheme worked. The defensive scheme worked. He was sending Joe Barry was sending a lot of different looks,
Yeah,
and it worked. A lot of different pressures worked. Garoppolo was never really comfortable in the pocket.
right.
He always had like contact, at least a QB hit or some kind of pressure. And I mean, I guess he was overthrowing people too, so it helps, you know.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I have a gripe with Garoppolo is, I mean, his numbers never look too bad. Like his numbers look like he's an efficient quarterback. His yards per throw or per attempt don't look bad. But like if you watch the game, if you see him play, he leaves a lot of yards like out in the on the field. Like his completions are completions, but he's not like leading his receivers, letting them run with the football. I think Chris Collinsworth during the call on one of the plays, I think it was a Sanu catch where he like you guys challenged it. On that Sanu catch that you guys ended up losing the challenge. If he places it better, if he leads his man and he doesn't make Sanu go to the ground, that one could have been, that one could have gone for like 20, 25 extra yards if he's still on his feet.
Yep. No, yeah, I saw that too. There was a lot of green in front of Sanu. He could have. That was a touchdown. Like, there's no one catching. There was no one close to him actually.
You think that was an incomplete pass though, or you think they caught it right?
I don't even know where the catch is anymore. Honestly, I mean, I lived through the whole Des thing. I mean,
The whole Megatron thing
the
against the
whole
Bears.
Megatron thing,
Yeah.
everything. Like, what's a catch? What was his name? That tight end from the Steelers.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
that
He,
AFC
I
Championship
think he
game.
led
Remember?
with the versus the Patriots. Was it?
Versus the
He
Pats,
he,
yeah, at the
he
when he
jumped.
like reached, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and it
yeah.
bounced out of his hands, and he caught it, and like like he recovered his. I don't know what to catch. Like I feel like it changes every week, no
Yeah.
matter how many times they like make the rule specific. It's every week's a different story.
And LaFleur, he had the fresh cut. He saw him with the fresh cut. He was looking. I was like, okay, but he was mad at the end of the half because he was trying to get an intentional grounding. Do you think that was an intentional grounding, or how did you look at that play?
I think it was. There was no receivers in the vicinity. Plus, he was still between the hashes.
Yeah,
So, and like the refs claimed that Preston had contact on him, but like it didn't. And plus, the ball went like 3 yards, like
yeah,
in
yeah,
front.
yeah.
Like it was all linemen in front of it. But at the same time, the refs missing calls, getting calls, a whole different story. Like there was a lot of soft PI calls, I believe. There was one where it was third down, and Jimmy tried to escape the pocket, and Amos stuck his leg out and tripped him.
Yeah,
But when they show the replay, he's getting held from his jersey too. So those could have been offsetting penalties. If they saw
yeah,
the
yeah,
trip, they could have seen the hold.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that happened. Like like I said, some of the PI calls, that call, that roughing the passes on Jair, where he just like,
Oh yeah,
momentum.
yeah,
That's just like mental mistakes too on the players that are
yeah,
not
yeah.
used to.
Jair shouldn't have put his hands up there. Like
Yeah.
even though it was like like if I just think about it, like I'm thinking like Chiefs versus Patriots in the AFC Championship 2 years.
Hmm.
Uh, they barely grazed Brady on the head, and
Barely.
that was a PI. I think it was even softer than Jair's. It was like,
Yeah.
and they called this. So I was like, okay, like I wasn't too mad with that one. It was like it's just the NFL we're in right now.
Hmm.
But what do you think of that Garoppolo fumble?
What can I say? I'm just glad he did it. I guess I feel like it wasn't even a throw. I feel like he just lost his grip and he was trying to tuck it in to not
Yeah,
fumble it, and he ended up fumbling it. Like he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
tuck it in time, and he wasn't even touched. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, and then at the in the press conference, he was saying that he did like something. He was trying to spin it that
Yeah, he was like, oh, like trying to like
like
protect the ball and fall or something.
I think he said that one of your players hit him in the arm or something like that. Bro, he didn't get touched at all.
No one touched him. He could have had 2 picks, man. Like in that first possession, he
Yeah.
threw a ball straight at the linebacker's hands, but he,
Oh,
he didn't catch it.
in the end zone too. I think right before the intentional grounding, I believe. I think it was
Hmm.
that possession. I don't know if he wasn't he didn't read the play right or the wide receiver ran around wrong route, but I feel like he just had an errant throw because the wide receiver did
Yeah.
like a slant and he kind of just threw it behind him. and he was lucky that the cornerback was kind of like looking at the wide receiver and not looking at Garoppolo, because the ball literally flew right above his head, like right here.
A
And
laser he threw on that
yeah,
throw.
like a laser. And I'm just, I don't believe in Garoppolo. I've never been a Garoppolo fan.
Mm-hmm.
Take away your, Packer glasses and just look at him, look at the Niners situation as a neutral NFL fan. What do you think they should do? You think they should play it out Garoppolo, or do you think that they should go to Lance soon, or what's your stance on that?
I feel like the modern quarterback has to be a threat on the ground, and
Yeah,
and obviously through the air, you know. And besides that, be also a good decision maker, you know,
yeah,
like Lamar, like Mahomes, even Herbert now. Maybe not as much as legs, Dak. So
yeah,
I feel like it's just a matter of time before Lance starts.
yeah,
But what I believe is that the more he sits, the better he'll be once he starts. Because it can't be like that Jared Goff situation where they started him when the Rams were like 0-6 and they started him like halfway through the season and they're like, here, start. Like, there's no point. Like, that's detrimental to the building of a quarterback if you start him
why?
already. And I feel like if you start him during a shitty season, um, the team's already doing bad. Like, I feel like it's better to just play it through with the quarterback you have. I get it. You want to get him. You want to get the quarterback. You have a quarterback brewing that you want to get him experience.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's better experience for him to start fresh
right.
the
I I
following season.
I see that. Oh, and I see that point of view, but I don't think the Niners are going to be bad. I think they could be 4-3, 5-3, and I think they could still be thinking like, should we go to Lance? Like, just because our record is good doesn't mean like we got to stick to Garoppolo. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were 2-0, and he hadn't played a spectacular, and they could have easily won this game against you guys. Been 3-0, and yeah, he had the game winning drive, but other than that, like there wasn't too much to be overly happy about his
Yeah,
play. So I could see them being like, it's a tough division, so they might be tinkering around 500, and I could see them going to Lance. I would go to Lance personally. I think
yeah,
the
of
team
course.
the team is good. They have a great offensive line, or like above average. Mac is good. They have what's that old left tackle? He had a crazy pancake on one of your cornerbacks, I believe.
Oh yeah. What was his name?
Trent. It was a Trent.
Yeah,
Or is it
Trent.
Trent Williams? Is it with Trent Williams? Or
Yeah,
yeah, or
yeah, because
Brown?
they just signed him. They just signed him. They
Yeah,
just signed
he's a
him
monster.
this
He
off
he
season.
he could move. They have a good offensive line. Yeah, right now they don't have the best running backs because they're all hurt. But Sermon, it looks like he might be good. They have some weapons. Debo, Ayuk. I would go to him. I don't believe in Garoppolo. Everyone keeps mentioning that uh he took him to the Super Bowl. I don't think he took him to the Super Bowl. I think he was there for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
He had some throws here and there,
Yeah,
but all I could think of is the game against you guys threw 8 attempts, and in the Super Bowl, he wasn't a game changer. He
he's
wasn't
not the guy.
he's not the guy. So I think realistically, if we go roster spot for spot, that team might be even a little bit better, that Niner team. So I don't know if I don't think you could go back to the Super Bowl with Jimmy.
No, you can't. You definitely can. Like you said, he doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have what it takes. Trey Lance gives you that dual threat. And I do agree with you though. Like if they're seeing like, oh, you know what, this guy could be the truth. Like let's start him.
And it's not like the Bears situation. I think the Bears,
Mm,
they're setting up Fields. That's a whole different topic, but I think they're setting up Fields just to like not
same.
succeed. Nagby can't call a play to save his life. I think the Niners situation is like one of the most ideal situations for a quarterback to step into the NFL. Like he has weapons, he has a coach that could scheme a game plan that where you would naturally be like at a B grade, like already
Yeah,
as a quarterback. Like you're naturally just, if you could just make some throws and follow his schemes, your grade for the game is already like a B minus C plus, and then it's up to you to elevate it to an A if you want to.
make some throws, make some handoffs. That's all you need.
Yeah,
But like I like that you mentioned Justin Fields because I mean I hate the Bears, but
yeah,
the difference is that the Niners beefed up the O line, and the Bears O line is atrocious.
it's
So I
disgusting.
mean, it's bad. Like you have to get your quarterback protection. Obviously, not sacked 9 times. That's ridiculous. He's running for his life out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the worst part is they weren't even moving the pocket. They weren't doing nothing. They thought they had a prime Peyton Manning back there. Like, no, Justin Fields is a runner. He has a strong arm and he can run. Like, I don't understand why you don't bootleg him. You know, move the pocket. You know, option plays. There was nothing. They were just.
Yep.
That's why it looks like, man, is this man trying to sabotage? Like, what is he doing? I don't know what the Bears are doing. I would have been fired him. I would have been fired Pace. I know he's a franchise legend, team legend, but I think I don't like what they're doing there. Obviously, you as a Packer fan, I mean, that's two easy wins. It's been 2 easy wins for, like, you know, as a while now, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna change. But for the Packers, I know we talked about the Niners. If they have any Super Bowl aspirations, they probably have to go to Lance. I did predict a Chiefs versus Packers Super Bowl. I think it would be exciting. The storylines would be great. Like Aaron Rodgers against, you know, the new and improved Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. If you could, you know, spin it that way. What do you think about the Packers after 3 weeks? Are they still, you know, one of the top teams in the NFC? The loss to the Saints, was that overblown? What happened there? What are you looking in the future for the Packers? How does the season outlook look like to you?
You predicted the State Farm Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
But now, like everyone's saying, like week 1, Rodgers was still in Hawaii mode. You know? So it's like let's put that behind us. Whatever. Week 1, it's a loss. It sucks that it's within the conference too. So that's like playoff seeding wise later on in the season that might come bite us in the ass. But I feel like we look good. Obviously, being the Lions, it's not like a big accomplishment. Like
it's not.
No disrespect to the Lions, but it helped the offense to get clicked. The defense looked very shaky. So going into Sunday night, I mean, like for the past 10 years, that the same questions arise. Like, is the defense, can this defense do it? Can this defense do it?
Since Woodson
and
left.
They stepped up, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. And the defense stepped up. Yeah, they allowed towards the end, a few scores, back-to-back possessions with the touchdown.
Yeah.
To end the half and to start the second half, but I feel like there's a lot of bright spots. The rookie corner seemed pretty solid, aggressive.
Yeah.
Just has to use his hands less. If he uses his hands less, he has the athleticism to be the shutdown corner on the opposite of Jair that we need.
He has the hips too. I see him.
Yeah, he has the hips. He's good.
He moves good.
It's gonna be tough. I feel like it's gonna be tough. Let's see what our defense can do versus teams like Seattle or Arizona, because with mobile quarterbacks. I mean, Matthew Stafford not that mobile, but still that offense is McVay's offense is spectacular always.
But you guys basically have a ticket in the playoffs already, right?
I'd say the division. Like I was talking to my boy, like no matter how good the Vikings get, or it's
the Packers.
It's the Packers. They don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, unless barring any injuries, basically. But
yeah,
the Lions, they're done. The Bears, they got to start scouting linemen in the top 5, and then the Vikings, I think they're a little unlucky to be 1-2, but I don't think they're gonna come back. And I do like Cousins. I like how he's been playing, but I don't think they could steal the division from you guys.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys are in the playoffs. There's only one bye this year or moving forward. It's just the top seed in each conference. Do you think the Packers could realistically be the top seed in the NFC, or how are you looking at this?
I mean, obviously, I'd hope for that, but it's looking tough. So some of the teams have impressed, especially
the West. The West, they're gonna beat each other up. Cardinals, Niners, Seahawks, Rams. They're all gonna beat each other up. I don't think any of those teams are gonna go undefeated in the division.
Yeah.
The Bucs already lost. Their defense looking a little shaky.
The Packers secondary looking bad.
Yeah. The Panthers are leading their division right now. I don't think they have what it takes to be the number 1 seed. Saints, Jameis is too, up and down sometimes. The Bucs, they're still gonna be up there, but I think the Packers, you could make an argument that they could end up as the top seed.
I think I can see it. I mean, Dallas is looking solid.
Dallas, yeah,
Barring
Dallas.
any injuries, like I mean, like it's always the case. The healthiest team,
McCarthy,
the
McCarthy
healthiest
with
team.
that time
But
management.
McCarthy,
Oh my god.
McCarthy, hey, I don't miss that. I'll tell you that. Man, having LaFleur, seeing him like so energetic on the sideline, like that, it hypes me up, man. I feel like that's the energy the guys are missing. They know what they need. The team, I mean, they've been there twice, back to back losses, back to back a win away.
Yeah.
So I can see them going maybe even what there's one more game.
Yeah, 17.
What 14-3 maybe.
14 and
But I
3.
see they play Kansas, so we'll see. They have like the fourth toughest schedule according
Yeah.
to the stats.
Yeah, yeah.
Combining the wins from last year and losses. But
But they
I
have the
can see
MVP.
us, and we have the MVP, man. It's
And
just like if I was said defense,
yeah, that
but
defense.
they showed a lot of bright spots. So it's a long season, but what they showed on Sunday was a big win for us, man. It was a big win.
So overall, after 3 weeks, you're what? You're impressed? Is this kind of what you expected? You're a little bit low, or like, how
I
are
mean,
you
I'm
overall
impressed.
feel?
If you tell me like within the first 3 weeks, like what record, I would have told you 2-1. I would have expected a loss versus actually San Francisco.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
So
I
you
wasn't
basically
expecting like undefeated.
you split
So I'm
basically.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, this is the team. You got to be realistic. You can't be like,
undefeated season 20 now.
yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about another entertaining matchup that happened this week. Two teams that are going to be battling it up with the Packers at the top of the NFC, the Bucks and the Rams. The Rams thoroughly took care of the Bucks. The Bucks, they made it a little bit closer at the end, some garbage touchdown to make it closer than it actually was. The Rams, especially in that second half, really just dominated the Bucks. What do you think about the Rams? How far do you think they could go?
The Rams are legit, man. I feel like they always have been. And the same question always like, was Goff really the guy?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
now, I mean, watching Matthew Stafford play. I mean, we played him twice a year, every year since he's been in the league, and he's legit, man. He's a tough guy, tough as nails. He's had the resume, he's had the numbers, to back him up. He just obviously
Yeah,
played he's happened to play in Detroit.
man, Detroit.
Unlucky for him, but I feel like he even has a clutch gene, man. He's led a lot of fourth quarter,
He
either
does. He
game
does.
tying or game winning drives. So
Yeah,
I feel like they're legit. Their defense has always been great. Aaron
yeah,
Donald, arguably the best defensive player that we know. He's up there every time. He's a menace, man.
yeah.
That was a problem. They got Ramsey. You know
Beast.
that front seven is scary, dude. They had
Yeah,
Brady on his toes.
yeah. He had
They
no
were
time.
dominating,
Brady
and
hates it
then
when you
that
get that pressure up the middle. He can't step up into his throws
he
because I
can't
mean
take
his
that.
arm is still good when he's stepping up. When he's backpedaling, he's a
He
different
can't make
story.
that throw.
Yeah,
So I feel like the Rams are legit. They have a good chance. I feel like we'll be seeing them. We'll be seeing them. I feel like Green Bay will probably play them in January,
that'll be good, dude. The NFC is
barring
pretty.
any.
The playoffs, man, they're juicy, man. It's gonna be a
It's
fun
looking.
playoffs. We're gonna be entertained. But any concerns for the Bucks?
The secondary.
Yeah, right.
They can't stop anyone. They can't stop. The Cooper Cup tore him up. Djax. If Stafford doesn't miss Djax those two other times,
Yeah, they
that would
got
have been.
lucky. The what's his name? Beta Vea got there like one time,
Mm-hmm,
and I think someone else got there. But they were missing Jason Pierre-Paul, and they were missing
mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown, and they were missing. I don't know how long is their cornerback out. I know like
The young corner, I'm not sure, but he might be out a long time because I heard they're looking to sign Sherman. So, or they're having Sherman try out. So
oh yeah. So,
we'll see.
but you think they'll win the division? I mean, Panthers are
I
3
think
and 0.
so. I think they always find a way.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I
Especially
mean,
with Brady.
under Brady, they always find a way. If the defense steps up, they always find a way. I hate to
Stafford.
say it, but it's somehow it's
Yeah,
there. Like, and he has that. I mean, I don't know if Giovanni Bernard is hurt or not, because that hit he took going into the end zone looked
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
bad.
He
But
flipped.
if he stays healthy, that's the type of player that helps a Brady like offense.
Yeah, I think Bernard is better than White, and White
Yeah.
was good at his role, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Bernard is even better than him. You could actually like be a every down back if you were
Yeah.
forced to
He's
make him.
he's a little bit bigger. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. They're always gonna be there though. I feel like they might lose maybe like 6, 7 games,
Stafford for
maybe a little
MVP.
bit more. It's looking good. Stafford, I mean, obviously if he takes them all the way or he takes them into the playoffs and solid season, I say him. He showed it.
What about Derek Carr?
Derek Carr though, sheesh.
Over
We'll see that
400 yards a game.
he already has 1,000, huh? 1,000 for the season already, like over 1,000 throwing
He
passing
has
yards, I think.
1,200. He's averaging over 400 a game.
That's ridiculous. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he does on
Yeah,
Monday.
I think if you look at Stafford and Carr, I think you could see Stafford, holding his play. He has
Mm-hmm.
no offense to Chucky, but I think he has the better offensive coordinator in this day and
Yeah.
age. Better weapons too, better defense. But Stafford, I think he was a lot of people's preseason pick for MVP. I could see it.
Yeah.
The Rams, Deshaun Jackson, man, he can still run. He got the burner still.
Yeah. It seems like he just doesn't age. He's inevitable, man.
He's dope, man. That's crazy that he outlasted like Macklin and all these people that came after him, like McCoy.
He just stayed
He just
under the radar.
keeps going everywhere and just
He got
70.
passed around the NFC East too.
Yeah. He's been everywhere, man. I like Deshaun Jackson though.
Yeah,
He,
Djax is cool.
he's dope. He's dope. Um, so there's a couple of 3-0 teams. If I was to look at the divisions right now, I could list you all the 3-0 teams. I got the Raiders, you got the Broncos, you got the Carolina Panthers, and then you got the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. Which one of these teams you think is the fluke here, or is not gonna? Do you see any of these teams missing the playoffs, or which one's the pretender here? Which one doesn't belong?
Um, I'm gonna say Denver.
Denver.
Yeah, especially the way that conference is looking.
Yeah,
The West, with the
the
Raiders and
division.
the
Yeah, the division.
Chargers. My bad, division.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the Chiefs. Like, I don't think Denver makes it. They
You'll be.
looked impressive. Teddy Rogers, Teddy Bridgewater's look good,
He's done
but
enough.
I mean they played,
No, they have like
mediocre
the
teams.
weakest. All the teams they played have been 0-3, I believe.
Hmm.
So you think
But the most impressive, I mean, I say the Raiders, man.
the
Straight up,
Raiders?
the Raiders
Yeah, they
beating two AFC North teams like that.
yeah, yeah.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. And like the manner too, like they could have easily like gave up on some of those games and just admit defeat to these teams, especially
Hmm.
to the Ravens. They could have just been like, all right, you know what? After the mistake, the interception and the overtime in the end zone, but they kept fighting. What
Yep.
is this, year 4 for Chucky?
Yep.
He might have something going there, man.
Something brewing, huh? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it was maybe trading away Mac and Amari Cooper was the building blocks of this Super Bowl run, huh?
Hey man, they got some weapons too. I mean, Josh Jacobs hasn't been there, but he's cool. Hunter Renfro, I don't know if you've seen him play. He's nice. I
Put
like
in
Hunter.
Renfro.
Yeah, and they have these other weapons. Obviously,
Waller,
Waller's a beast. He's a monster.
Ruggs,
Um, they have this tall, lanky wide receiver. I forgot what his name is, but he's really good too. For
Brian
me,
Edwards, no, I think.
yeah, Brian Edwards. There you go. He's a
Henry
beast.
Ruggs too. Ruggs is
Henry Ruggs been stepping it up, man. My roommate's a
like
Raider fan, and I saw Henry Ruggs drag the feet, that the toe drag swag. I was like, what? Where did this come from? Like, all right,
he looks like a Tyreek 2.0, man. That guy is
he's starting
fast,
he's starting the
man.
season. I think they need to do more plays, like more modern plays, just to get him the ball, like in space, some sweeps, get him running, just get him like because wide receivers, that's like the most diva position. Sometimes if they don't get the ball, they check out, they don't run the routes as crisp. You gotta at least give him a couple touches
Keep him
every
involved.
quarter, yeah.
Some wide receiver screens, like a little bubble screen, nothing crazy. A little handoff on a jet sweep.
Yep. Some
check down throws, that like get their confidence up, keep them locked in.
Those cheap touchdowns that Mahomes always throws, where they do the end around, but like in front of him, and he just does the little tap to heart.
Don't forget who started those. Tom Brady and fucking in New England, man, with those 6 inches of air yards.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot believe that's a pass, man.
Yeah. James White got a couple passing touchdowns like that, and his tight ends got some. I think Hernandez used to get some of those back in the day.
Yeah.
But I saw that you mentioned the Broncos. What about the Panthers? I was high on the Panthers. I had them making the playoffs as a wild card. Some people still don't believe in them. Kind of the schedule too, but they play the Jets. They play the Texans. What are your thoughts on the Panthers as another 3-0 team?
If they can stay healthy. Obviously, McCaffrey's a huge part of their offense. He hasn't stayed healthy since he got paid.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a correlation in that, but I mean, if they can stay healthy, Sam Darnold, man, he looks legit.
Yeah,
he looks legit. I think he was just suffering from Adam Gaze's horrendous job of coaching.
Adam Gaze. Is he the next Tannehill?
He looks good, man. If he could just make the throws that he has to make and not force anything, and just obviously take care of the football, they have the options, and they traded for a star corner, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think
they look legit.
They have played the Texans and they have played the Jets, but I think the difference between the Panthers and the Broncos is their division's a little easier, but I think in this day and age, how your quarterback plays matters a lot. And yeah, Teddy Bridgewater hasn't like done a big mistake, and he's looked solid, and he's looked serviceable, and it's probably the best quarterback that the Broncos have had in a while since Manning left. But I think he hasn't really impressed, or he hasn't given you like those like specific throws that make you go like, okay, like this is a franchise QB. And obviously it's still early in the season, but I think for Darnold, he's made some throws and he's had some games where you're like, okay, like I'm kind of seeing something here. Like I could see this man, if he keeps this up, the Panthers could be scary because of Darnold, not just Darnold being there, keeping everything tidy. They could be nice because of Darnold. Do you see that too, or?
No, yeah, like that Thursday night game was impressive. Yeah, it was the Texans.
Yeah.
But he looked impressive.
Yeah, so especially with McCaffrey going down, that could have just it could have spiraled from there. Yeah, I think the Panthers make the playoffs. In my opinion, their defense has looked pretty solid too. But transitioning over to the Premier League, I know it was a big weekend for you too. Arsenal versus Tottenham, North London's red. What's your impression on the derby?
Hell yeah. Wake up and then I wake up, watch the game. Dude, first half 3-0, amazing. What else can you ask for in a Clásico like that?
Yep,
they look very good.
You guys are above them in the table now?
Above them.
Jeez.
After a horrible start, which I was heated. I wanted Arteta out, but I guess they said they're going to give him 5 games, and then he's impressed.
He's impressed.
3 straight wins. And only 1 goal conceded too.
Tottenham being the most dangerous team out of those 3 wins, right? Who were the other wins against?
I feel like it was like Norwich, and I forgot the second win.
Yeah.
But both wins were like they were really that impressive.
Yeah, this
they were
one
like
was
1-0.
Oh, Burnley, and Norwich.
Burnley.
Yeah. So this one's the one that kind of gets you like, okay, are we seeing something here? Or is this, you think it was more Arsenal turning the page, or do you see Tottenham just kind of on a nosedive? Because they've been kind of, they lost to Crystal Palace. I think they lost to Chelsea.
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah,
they lost to Chelsea like 2 or 3-0. I feel like it was a little bit of both.
Back-to-back, 3 straight games, they've conceded 3 goals. They lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace, and then they lost 3-0 to Chelsea. And then you guys come to town and put a...
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of both, because if you look at the game, Arsenal played a solid game, but they're really clinical on the counter. So whenever I think most two of our goals came out off counterattacks
Yeah.
that are like
And
just beautifully,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're executed to perfection. And the defense does look shaky.
And Harry
And like
Kane
you
gave you
said,
guys an assist.
he lost the ball actually, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
he
He
went
went
to go
back,
slide,
but he's not a
and then
defender.
and just
He
laid it off the
just
Saka.
he set it up on the
And off the
platter.
Saka.
He was
Yep.
like, as my fellow English teammates, I am the captain of England. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay here. So we're gonna be teammates longer than we're not, you know.
Yeah.
So here you go, my child.
I mean, that's what it is, man. I'm just happy to see the young guys, the youngsters, thrive. Smith Rowe,
He still hasn't
Saka.
scored, right? He still hasn't scored in the Premier League or this
Well,
season.
I think he scored this game.
Oh, he
I
did.
think, yeah, he scored.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What about Aubameyang? What do you think about Aubameyang?
I'm just happy he's scoring again too. Regardless,
Yeah, you think he can still lead?
Um,
He can still lead the line, or yeah,
I think so. I think so. I think Laka may be the one that's got to go. I feel like regardless, if you have a good striker, you still need a solid, not necessarily backup, but a solid second guy to have the starter like always be on his toes. Because you
yeah,
can't be like comfortable. Like, all right, no one's gonna like. I could play bad, but they're not gonna. Who they're gonna sub in?
yeah, yeah. What
It's
about
always good to have that
Ramsdale?
internal comp. Who?
Ramsdale, your keeper.
Hey, you looking legit.
He does, right? That's a good
I
pickup.
think he's impressive, man. A lot of you can see a lot of fight and a lot of energy he puts in it too, and a lot of
Yeah,
his saves. And Tomiyasu looking good too.
and he shows a lot of emotion too,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that's one of the qualities that a keeper should have. They should be loud. They should be commanding. You can't be timid. I think you got to
You
be an
gotta yell.
extrovert. You got to be an extrovert as a keeper, because
You have to.
you got to, like, it's just you're literally the last line of defense. And if you stay quiet, we've seen miscommunication between a lot of sometimes. I think this gets me mad. I can't think of a specific moment, but I've seen where teams score on a corner kick, and like the play that led up to that corner, it was just because no one told the defender that, hey, there's no one behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just they knock it to a cornerback thinking that's the right thing to do, but it's because the keeper didn't speak, and then they score on the corner, and you're just like, oh my god, like really, like
Yeah.
so annoying. But I think that's good. Ramsdale looks like he's a solid pickup. Um, you guys are now, what position are you guys? You guys are 10th now in the league after 6 games. Obviously, I think you would have wished a little higher. But if I would have told you when you guys were 0-3 that you were gonna be in 10th place just a couple weeks later, I think you would have taken it.
Oh yeah.
What's your outlook for the season?
It's gonna be a long season. I feel like the winter transfer window is gonna be important for us to hire either get another striker or another like
Center back?
center back and maybe a center mid because I don't know how long Chaka's gonna be out. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, I obviously I'd aspire for Champions League, but
Yeah.
you also got to be realistic. The
Yeah, I could tell you right now.
City, Liverpool, Chelsea are looking ridiculously good. Obviously, Man U.
Yeah.
So it's looking tough. Like Leicester has always, ever since they won, they've been there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Not so much this season, but they're gonna pick it up.
I don't want to be complacent. Like Europa League are fine, but after not having any European competition and getting into Europa qualification next by the end of this season,
Yeah.
hey, that's already a positive.
Does Arteta make it to Christmas?
Whoo, that's a good question. I think
You
so, man.
you think so?
I think
All
so.
right, all right. You think so, but do you want him to?
I
That's a hard
like I like Conte.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know. I
would he
feel
come
like
to
he's too.
Arsenal?
Nah, probably not.
Yeah, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, obviously.
He's a league. He's a league. He's not amazing in Europe, but as far as league, he's a great coach.
Yeah, like I'd take Conte, obviously. Yeah, but everyone wants Conte right now. If
Yeah,
it's Conte, there's Zidane. So
Zidane too. Zidane too,
no, he wouldn't. Zidane, I feel like if he would take another coaching job, he'd probably go like Pochettino gets sacked or something, and he goes to PSG.
or the French national team.
Oh yeah, too.
So, do you want him to
I,
stay? Or,
From what I've seen, from what I saw Sunday, and like the other games, I guess I'd like him to stay. I like to see what he got brewing. You know, like I said before, like you mentioned, give him a chance. Yeah, there's
yeah,
been some shitty play, but now he got, I guess you could say, quote unquote, his guys that he wants playing,
yeah.
and they put out a good game.
I mean, your schedule, Brian has been good, but it's still Brian. I think even though Brian's ahead of you guys on the table,
Mm-hmm.
you should realistically go in there trying to win, right?
Of course,
Even though
always.
even though Brighton, 4-1-1, 13 points, they're in sixth place. I think that should be a win for Arsenal. If this project is going in the right way, I think that should be a win. Crystal Palace, that should be another win, right? Or what do
Of
you think?
course.
Crystal Palace,
I think
15th,
so.
15th place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Aston Villa, they're in eighth place, 1 point ahead of you guys. So is not you guys don't have a competitive team to Leicester, and they're not so hot right now. They're dealing with some injuries too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Watford, and then after that you got Liverpool on November 20th. So
Ooh,
you got a whole, what is it today? September 26th. You don't play Liverpool till November 20th.
2 months.
2 months. So I think we'll find out a lot about this Arsenal team. We'll find out a lot about Arteta, how the table looks on November 20th. Because like
Yep.
I just listed everyone that you guys are playing right now: Brighton, Aston Villa, Watford. All of these teams are not, your big six, your big four, your contenders this season. I think this is the time to build some momentum for Arsenal.
Yeah. I mean, like that's what you have to do in the Prem against the teams that aren't Big Six. You got to get those 3 points regardless. Anything less than 3 points, that backtracks you so much.
Yeah,
And especially for a title race that ends with first place, not like the other, like where there's playoffs after and all that stuff like that.
yeah,
You can't lose any points versus teams that are, I guess, you quote unquote, like Liverpool, City, Man U,
yeah.
Chelsea,
So,
Tottenham, Leicester.
so you're saying he makes it to that Liverpool game? He'll be there.
I think so. I think he does. The schedule, like you said, looks pretty soft, very
Yeah,
doable.
yeah. I think if you were to look at the schedule, like this is what you kind of want right now
What,
as the team
eight
is starting.
weeks, right?
Yeah,
I would say 6-1-1.
6-1-1, and then after
Yeah.
that, Watford. I mean Newcastle, and then you play Manchester United, Everton,
Sheesh.
Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves, and then Man City. So it's not too bad of a schedule. You got to start building
Yeah,
some momentum here. But
definitely. Like this stretch is very important.
this stretch is crucial because I mean Arsenal, they what never been relegated, one of the big six, historic team. Like
Won the
they should,
Prem without losing.
yeah, the undefeateds, club legends, like everywhere. Um, World renowned team. They should be up there, man. They should
Mm-hmm.
not be like,
Battling mid-table.
yeah, and it's kind of like Arsenal is kind of starting to feel like they're just submitting to this like lower team status kind of. Like they're getting
Mm-hmm.
too comfortable. Like I think someone needs to go in there and just like, bro, what are
it's
you
the
doing?
it's the
Like
president, man.
it's
I think it's.
Arsenal. Like it's
Mhm.
Arsenal, man. Like what? How are you guys so complacent? And even if you just look at the roster, that's one of the things. Yeah, they have some up and coming players, and yeah, they have some quality players. But man, none of these players really scare you, in my opinion, or like none of them really bring you like fear, or like none of them you're like, damn, these players belong in the World 11,
Mhm.
Whereas before, like Arsenal would have a couple in the World 11, or like a couple players that are challenging for top five in their position. We got the best forward. We got one of the best midfielders in the world. Now it's just kind of like, oh, let's piece like a bunch of quality players. But like, so I want Arsenal. I want these players to kind of lead Arsenal back into that, because Arsenal deserves to be up there. They're one of the historic teams. They have a great fan base, as we could see right here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, man. I feel like it starts like that with the top. You gotta get rid of the president, man. Cronky, like that dude doesn't care about soccer. Like if you like what happened with America in those down years, and they just cleaned house.
Yeah.
And they brought Peláez in, and they brought Piojo, and they brought everyone, and then
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
changed everything, man. Like,
Yeah.
look where we are now. Like,
They were hungry.
yeah, hungry people that want to win, people that care about winning
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's
have
not
that
just the paycheck,
fight
you
and
know.
passion in them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it starts from the top, and until that happens, I don't know, man. It's tough.
Or someone that does have, fight and passion would be Raul Jimenez. He scored his first
Yes,
goal in the Premier
sir.
League after 322 days, I believe. Something ridiculous. 11 months since his last Premier League goal. Were you able to see the goal? What are your thoughts on Raul Jimenez? Can he get back to the level that he once was at? Or, is he just going to be another player nowadays?
Man, that was a badass goal.
That was so sick.
Dude, especially from where it came, like the pass, like a long ball, cut
Yeah.
in, the recorte.
Yeah.
Cool, calm,
Faint.
and collected finish.
Let the
Woo.
defender slide through.
The
Damn.
strength to even get the ball first,
Yeah,
man.
and speed too. Raul
Hmm.
Jimenez underrated speed. But
I like him. Obviously, America fan, dude. I wish him nothing but the best. It's unfortunate that the injury came versus Arsenal. It was like
yeah,
I remember watching that game. I was like, man, that shit sucks.
yeah, that
Seeing
was
him there,
scary.
just like, dude, it was a scary
It
day.
was so scary.
I'm just glad he's back on the score sheet. I feel like, yeah, it took him some time to score, but I feel like he'll be back. I feel like he'll be back.
I think that
I
goal
feel like,
kind of exemplifies like his class too. Like he's a really good number 9. He's complete. He's good with his feet. He, he used to be really good with his header. He's a little timid still, but obviously that's natural. I think he'll get over that because he does still go to challenge. He's starting to
mhm.
go up to challenges more. But man, you think Wolves should let him go to the qualifiers with Mexico in October?
That's interesting actually. I feel like yes, man. Like yeah, there's rules, all that stuff, like COVID and all that. But I feel like I should let him go. I feel like Mexico needs him. They need a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, Funes Mori, whatever. Yeah, Henry Martin. Henry Martin doesn't work well when he's just in a one striker formation. He works better with his two strikers, and he
Yeah.
could be, and the other striker could be the one that's laying him off. He's
Yeah.
like more
Yeah.
of like a poste.
Yeah.
But I feel like Raul Jimenez is the missing piece in Tata's lineup. But we'll see.
Yeah. But I've seen like on YouTube comments, Twitter, Reddit, I've seen there's a growing sentiment that some Mexicans or some people that follow the Mexican national team are kind of saying like, let's just save him for the World Cup. They're saying like it's not even worth him. Like if he got injured in the Premier League playing against some of the most skilled players, obviously the Premier League is it is a tough league too, but they call them moleros when they go play
Yeah.
against these North American teams. No offense to like Honduras and El Salvador and all that team, and all those national teams, but it is known to be very rough on players. You don't play on the best fields. Do you have what do you think about all those people that are saying that, like, what, just let him recover with the Wolves, we'll take care of it? What do you think about that?
It's understandable, but at the same time, you have to get him in playing with national team at some point. Like
Yeah.
you can't hold them off for so long. And like I feel like the earlier you start, the better. Because
Right.
think about it, I think about it this way. Like think about a man who's always been called up, like Henry Martin, right? Like he's called up to every qualifier. He's been called up to friendlies. He played in Tokyo,
Yeah.
and then come November next year, Qatar, he doesn't go, and then they take Raul Jimenez, who didn't play like any minutes since prior to his head injury. Like that's not necessarily fair for Henry. Yeah, Raul might be the better player, but Raul
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
ever present in the road there.
Right. But I don't think for that specific example, I don't think it would be Henry that gets dropped, because right now they don't just call Funes, Mori, and Henry. I think
Mm-hmm.
they still call what's that guy from the MLS?
Pulido.
Pulido. They still Puligol. They still bring him. They still they still bring in other players that I think would get dropped before
Yeah.
Henry. Some of the players that don't get so much playing time and do get
Mm-hmm.
called up. But I see where you're coming from. It does suck. But I mean, I could tell you this. There's good. That has always happened. There's some
Yeah.
European players that don't go all the time, and when it comes time to go to the big tournaments, hey, sorry, you were here the whole process, but uh, you know the stars
You're
are the
not it.
stars. Yeah, the
Yeah.
stars are the stars. You know, these are the guys that bring in the big ticket. They're the ones playing in the important leagues. It's always been like that, and there's always been people advocating for that too. There's a lot of people that just say like, who cares about these diva European Mexican players that play in Europe? Like, let's just go with the Liga MX team, which
Yeah.
I don't really. There's definitely a gap in talent, so I wouldn't go that extreme way. But um, what about just and Mex like I could see that. I would argue that too as a Wolves fan, because I was like, man, I don't want Raul Jimenez. Like, if he gets injured with the national team, it's a double whammy for me because I'm a Wolves fan.
Mm-hmm.
But like the CONCACAF, you would think the CONCACAF World Cup qualifier is just it's set, right? It should just be United States, Mexico. Always, that's what we think. They're always gonna make
Mm-hmm.
it. But the U.S. missed the last World Cup. They were in a hole at the beginning of this qualifiers. They're back at the top, but they were in a hole at the beginning of this qualifier. Mexico almost missed the 2014 World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is not as easy as they make it out to be. Like, there's
Yeah.
some hiccups. You do need your stars to be there. So I think you're leaning towards just calling him up, let him play.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, you bring up 2014, and he scored the goal that
That saved them against
got him that
Panama.
win. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And like you said, like obviously I agree with you. Yeah, it looks easy on paper, but at the end of the day, the games still have to be played. Anything can happen. A red card, injury, an own goal,
you're
and they
not used
just
to this
yeah,
weird fields,
the
the home
environments,
advantage. Yeah,
the home field, weather, anything. Refs, I always never fails. There's always something with the refs.
yeah. So you
So
would
I feel
be
like secure the wins early rather than be towards the end like we were in 2014 or US last World Cup.
yeah. So you think Raul Jimenez could get back to that level that he was before?
I think he could. He already overcame so much.
Because man,
Even playing is already a huge accomplishment.
his arrow
I
was straight up, man. Like, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. It was shooting. There was rumors Real Madrid was calling,
mm-hmm.
supposedly. Liverpool was calling. Chelsea was calling. They're like, oh, he's like the next Giroud, or even better than Giroud. He was, man. His arrow was up.
It was looking bright, man. Unfortunately, he got injured, but I feel like he can still get back to that level and maybe hopefully play for another for maybe one of those big European clubs that
Yeah,
you mentioned. But we'll see. But I do believe that he'll get back.
he's a great player, huh?
So good, man. That 1-2 with him and Chucho.
R.I.P. Chucho.
RFP, man.
Jimenez, he's like the best. He's the best number 9 Mexico has had in a while, huh? I have him ahead of Chicharito.
Like my boys is Chicharito Stan, man. He'll start swinging at you if he hears that comment.
uh,
He's like, "Oh, he's the best 9 ever." Every time when his money misses, like, "Oh, Chicharito, my Chicharito is there. Chicharito this." Like, yeah, man. Obviously, he scores a lot.
Chicharito
I
has
mean,
like a
what do you want? Like, what else do you want from a striker? Goals. Chicharito provides that. Yes, I believe that him over Funes Mori would have been. He could have missed some of the sitters that Funes Mori missed, but at the same time, he was hurt, and it's political why he didn't get called up. It's a whole BS that happened with like Yoon and the World Cup and all that stuff that he didn't want to apologize for.
yeah,
He didn't want to kiss ass, pretty much, and now
yeah.
he's not getting called up.
But Chicharito has like 120. If you were to rate from 0 to 100, 120 positioning, and then like all his other ratings are just like decent, But that positioning and that ball movement off the ball movement, one like top, top. Like him and Ronaldo, the
He's
way they're
always
able
there.
to, the way they're able to just know where the ball's gonna bounce, position, find a pocket in the defense, and just be there. That's the one thing I can say about Chicharito. I've never seen anyone do that better. Maybe just Ronaldo. Other than that, like,
He reads the game so good.
yeah, that I will give Chicharito like that. He moves like no one's. He makes he'll make a sprint to the front, cut to the back, cut back to the front. Like, That's one thing I can respect about Chicharito.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, bringing it back to the Premier League, who do you think is going to win the Premier League? It's been a very exciting season. The table is pretty tight. I think, in my opinion, it's going to come down between the two Manchester teams, Chelsea and Liverpool. So, out of those four, or do you have anybody else competing? Arsenal, maybe?
No, yeah, I was gonna say that. Maybe not so much Man U.
Yeah.
If I were to like pick, I'd say probably Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Man U. That's how I think it'll go.
Liverpool
Top
winning
four.
it?
Yeah, I think Liverpool can take it. They look
Why?
like they're back. They're back in form when they won it last time.
Yeah,
They got their
Brentford just
center
tied up
backs.
3-3.
They did though. Hey, Brentford smacked us.
Brentford smacked us too, man. They beat the
I'm telling you, man.
I just
It's
did
gonna be a long season.
Yeah, I just did a whole video on how surprising Brentford has been on TikTok. By the way, if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, follow me at Hard to Handle Sports. I'll drop the link. But anyways,
Drop the link.
so you're saying you're going with Liverpool?
I
Klopp?
say Liverpool, and as much as obviously I don't like Chelsea, but I mean you gotta recognize what they have. You know, solid at the back,
Chelsea
and they
just lost
score.
to City. Uninspiring performance. They had 0 attempts on goal. I know how sad that feels because Wolves had no attempts on goal when they lost to Brentford, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sad. But
That's sad. See, we had
yeah.
like 19 shots.
How many on target though on goal?
Like probably like 2. I don't even know.
Because we had 13 10. I think believe we had like 10 shots, but none of them were on target, and so they don't count. But you think City is gonna get Kane in the winter transfer? It looks like he's low-key throwing in the bag for Tottenham.
He's throwing, huh?
Yeah.
That dude wants to leave. Like that's the definition of I don't want to play here, and I'll
Yeah,
sabotage you until you let me go.
yeah. So if they get Kane, what title guaranteed for City or what?
I mean, they finally have they've been
A true,
looking a true striker. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, because is there, but
yeah.
he's like he's
He
a roller
actually
coaster. That guy's not consistent.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think he's consistent.
he looks better now on the right wing too. He looks like he found a little spot right there.
So I think Kane will probably be the answer for them because at the back they're good.
Yeah,
They always have been.
They're like 3-4 deep at center back at this point. They're
Yeah.
nice.
And Ederson is a fantastic goalie. Although he got sat today by the Messiah, but we'll talk about that later.
But so yeah, so if they get Kane, is that it? League over?
I wouldn't say over. I would definitely see them. If they get Kane, then I would put City. I would put Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Man U.
Okay. So
But right now, without Kane, I don't see City taking.
They're missing that.
They're missing that striker because that game they tied against Southampton, like it was what I think it was 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw, like 0-0. Like obviously you need a striker. They need a true striker. Yeah, Pep got away with it. Has gotten away with it in the past, but I feel like it's different now.
The Premier League's better now. Tuchel there. The Liverpool with their injuries looks like they're gonna be good now.
Mm-hmm.
What about Manchester United? Why not them? You don't like their roster. You don't like their coach. What is it?
I feel like the coach is a problem.
I hate the coach.
Yeah, he's a problem. Yeah, and the thing is, you see, I feel like that's a similar situation like we had when in Green Bay with McCarthy. Like he wasn't a good coach toward the end of his term with Green Bay, but the results were there.
Yeah.
And when the results are there, it's kind of hard for the manager to be like, nah, let's get rid of the coach. Like, something's working, but I feel like it's more on the player than the coach.
He hasn't won a title. He's already out of the Carabao Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Losing to West
Young
Ham.
Boys and Young Boys
and Young Boys. Yeah. So you think the seat is hot over there for?
I think he's in the hot seat. I feel like they have 3 losses in the last 4 games. So he's in the hot seat. And obviously Manchester United is a huge club,
Biggest
huge
one.
fan base. Yeah, huge fan base. So I feel like there'll be um coaches who will want that job. Who wouldn't want to coach Manchester and Cristiano? You
See
know?
that I could see those two other coaches we had mentioned earlier, Conte, Zidane reunion with Ronaldo.
Anything
That
can happen.
I don't know why they're sticking with him. I know he's a club legend, but even the way he addresses the media sometimes, like talking about penalties and all that stuff, I feel like some of the, I mean, yeah, they have their moments, but some of those elite coaches, they kind of bring it up, but they don't really get into it like he does. Like they started just talking about the tactics or something. I mean, everyone does bring it up, but I think he kind of sometimes sidetracks away from his tactics and
Yeah.
just talks about other stuff. And I don't know, I don't think he's a guy for the job. What do you think about Ronaldo so far with United?
Sheesh. I mean, he's been more than impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, I definitely was not expecting what 3 goals in 4 games.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like he could have had 4 and 4 with if he
If
scores
he's
that if Bruno lets him take that pen. But he's been good, man. I feel like the team suits him. I feel like
yeah,
they needed a striker, and who better than Ronaldo? You know,
yeah. So
the play
with
style suits him, the wingers, everything. But the midfield is shaky. The central midfield, I definitely tell you, it's shaky. Yeah,
Fred,
Pogba's there, but yeah,
they keep playing Fred and
Fred is not it. Matic,
yeah,
those two guys
he's
are not gonna hold you down in the middle.
that's not a Premier League winning, what's it called,
Mm-hmm.
midfield, right?
Mm-hmm. You need a
But yeah,
solid defensive midfielder that will not only obviously defend, but help distribute the
yeah.
ball. You know,
So for you, it's Liverpool, Chelsea, City,
Man U.
Man U.
Yeah.
Who gets the other Europa spots?
Sheesh. I have to. How does the table look right now?
All right. So you got Liverpool top of the league, 14 points. Man City 13, Chelsea 13, United 13, Everton 13, Brighton 13, West Ham 11, Aston Villa 10, Brentford 9, Arsenal 9. And then your usual
Sheesh.
suspects, Tottenham at 9, you got Leicester at 7, you got Wolves at 6. And I think, those are all the teams. West Ham at 11, I mean 7th place with 11. Those are your teams. Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Man United, Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Villa, Brentford, Arsenal.
I don't think Everton got it.
No?
No. I mean, they folded last year too, or 2 years ago. They started hot and then just fell off.
Yeah.
We'll make a run for it. I feel like
Yeah.
Arsenal
Honestly, now
and
that I'm looking at it, I mean, you got Brighton, West Ham, Aston Villa, Brentford ahead of you guys.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't
It's doable.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Tottenham's behind you guys and they have their own issues. Leicester's behind you guys and I could see them making a run too, but they got some injuries. We'll see if they're able to turn it around. So, Arsenal segue
Arsenal,
back to
yeah, the hype is Arsenal, yeah, yeah. That's how I feel. Like, oh, is it really though? But like you said, those 2 months before Liverpool, those 8 games,
yeah,
they have
that's
to
big.
get, they have to
That's
come up
big.
with like 75% of those points.
Yeah, really like put themselves back into that European race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that's going to be crucial. Uh, Hopefully, my Wolves are able to make a little run and they're in the contention too. But we'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully, man, rooting for them. Obviously, Raul is my guy. Nothing, never has anything against Wolves.
Yeah,
Dope.
Wolves are like a very neutral team, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the original teams in the Premier League too.
Yes, sir.
So you better respect.
That's right.
Hey, man, but this has been fun, man. Appreciate you coming back to the show one more time. What is this? Your third time now, or what is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at this. We're gonna see this a lot, baby. Yee!
Let's get
Mellow.
it. Melo's gonna be nice. Hopefully,
Hell yeah,
cool.
man.
Give us a cool 15 minutes. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming back to the show. Always a pleasure. It's been a while since you came to the show, but it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, man. Like I've always said, I appreciate you having me. It's always fun to talk about sports, man. And hope to be here again in the near future. Maybe in those 2 months, we'll talk about where Arsenal's at and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll have NBA to talk about as well.
Oh, yup.
By
Almost
then,
here.
but
Best
man, just
best time of the year when the NBA, the NFL, and like soccer, worldwide soccer, and Champions League is all going on. Best time of the year.
Or when we have the sports, was it sports equinox, when all
Yeah.
the major leagues play on the same day, like on a Thursday
Oh,
night.
yeah.
Woo! Can't wait for that, man. That's coming up. That's in October, yeah. Because
Yeah, it's almost
playoffs and all
here.
that stuff.
Yeah, so I'll shoot you the invite for you to come on for that fourth time. But like I said, man, I'm happy you're doing good. It's always great to have you back on the show, man.
Likewise, man. Thank you for having me.
Later, bro. Have a good one.
Peace. You too.